Good day, mate. That is the extent of my Australian accent. And I'll understand if you turn the sound down. So it's day 75. It's a screenwriter's journey. This is August 9th that I just redated the script. And today, in reality, is September 17th or 18th. So I'm still about 6 weeks in arrears or whatever you might say. Yesterday, I did a lot of rewriting as I've been doing for the past 60 days, probably, or 50 days. And still just this section, this is like page 62. So, it's the bad guys close in, according to Blake Snyder. And so I'm just, whoa, I don't know if I'm deleting whole chunks or exactly what, but hopefully so. It's sort of fun when you write and you've gone long and you can just go through and just chop out a whole bunch of stuff. As good as it is to write new stuff, sometimes it's fun just to get rid of the bad stuff. What I was saying is this is the bad guys close in part, and I don't think I realized it when I was writing it, but it feels like it's just a lot of dialogue. I mean, this script has got a lot of dialogue in it, let's face it, but it doesn't really feel like the tension is rising. I have this whole explanation, the backstory of how this came to be. It's not really the backstory, the explanation with Noble. So now I don't know what I'm doing, frankly. I'm just jumping all over the place. All right, so I'm introducing Clyde and Ace. Oh. Oh my gosh. So I just made a huge change here. I wish I could pause it, but my rule is I can't. I had the idea that it had to be the next morning, and I had talked about 12 hours, blah, 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 blah. So then I don't know what it was, as is the case with so many things in writing. You just get the idea, and I'm saying, I don't know what it was, what the catalyst was. And I thought, why do they have to wait overnight? Why can't, Salerno has got piles of money and he could get this DNA test, because if you pay for it, it's all, you pay more, you get it quicker. So I'm figuring, why not make this happen a lot sooner? And so that helped enormously cut out all of this stuff that was going on, overnight. And they wake up the next morning, and the cereal, which was kind of a funny scene, but nothing really, it didn't really make any sense. And so Gary, I thought, well, what if they come and get him that night, because they've already run the test? And it's really not even nighttime. It's like 4, 5, 6 at night. So it's still, it's still daytime, and this can all play out, again, not in real time, but a lot faster. And so just when we're in this middle of this sort of dramatic thing where Gary said, did you come back to save her, your reputation? Holly, what do you think? And then Gary is like, oh my goodness, something is happening. He says, he talks to Holly. You can read the dialogue for yourself. And then bang, we go to the command post. And this is very coincidental. I am not pausing the video. I must have walked away from my computer and left it running, which is maybe why today is so long. But it turned out well. So I might speed this up if I don't keep writing here. But this was a major turning point in helping the script along and getting to that bad guys close in, because that's exactly what's happening. Obviously, Clyde and Ace are the bad guys, extension of the bad guys, which again, Rachel is the real antagonist. And so, generically bad guys, anyone who is going against the protagonist. So Clyde and Ace are facilitating that. And, Salerno, who they're working for, is obviously a bad guy, or is he? He's a mob guy, so I guess he is. But as we find out at the end, he's maybe not as bad, at least in some respects, as we think. And then there's all the other people. But really, Rachel is the antagonist. And so while Clyde and Ace technically aren't working for her, they're getting her what she thinks she wants, or she thinks that they're going to help her get what she wants, even though they don't know it because, they're just hulking guys. Anyways, so we go to the command post, and Noble is totally thrown off by seeing these two because, as I've said about 1,000 times, he nor does anyone think that anything's going to happen until the next morning. And this is going to be bad news for some reasons that we're going to see as soon as they start writing again. So let's see why I'm not writing, and we'll remedy that. All right, so we're back at it. So now we've got some brand new dialogue. We got a brand new scene because everything is changing. All right, I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff. And now, so I'm I'm reading and I'm trying to get ahead of myself without getting behind myself. So basically, Noble has got to, change the plan immediately because all of these people, all these FBI people, as it turns out, aren't just sitting around waiting for something to happen. Noble and whoever has said, look, this is probably going to happen tomorrow morning, if anything's going to happen. So maybe he's called them in to be there at, 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning, whatever. And so he's telling the people that he needs the Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie chase teams. In other words, the people that are going to follow the van when it leaves, or the pickup truck, and then find out where Hogan is. So that it's definitely a big change, and it's going to get even better, I think, I hope. So I've been told. So I thought it would be kind of good that Rachel is equally surprised. What's going on? We're leaving. How the tests come back so soon. We're leaving. Ace isn't going to give away a bunch of information. He probably doesn't know information. He was told, go in there, get the kids, get the lady, and get out of there. So this makes me, it sounds funny, kind of goofy, but as a writer or screenwriter, this makes me happy to know that I identified this and I realized it was a problem and I changed it. And now the bad guys truly are closing in, as should happen in this part of the script, because I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like way later, but I don't know. I just, a little biased, of course, but I think this is really helping a lot. So Larry is speculating why, if the results really did come back, or Salerno's just basically going to say, look, I'm going to get her no matter what, whether you're my granddaughter or not. But, and then at the same time, Larry's saying, well, maybe your mom set him up, which is kind of cool in two ways. If you think about it, if you had a chance. So again, Ace is just single-minded on getting these guys out of here. Whoops, I'm missing an S after Larry Arm. Come on. Yay. All right. So, yeah, I think this is definitely a turn for the better. And it's kind of crazy. I mean, this is day 75, and I've gone through this script. I don't know. I should keep track, but I'd be afraid to, probably 5-6 times. And I just had it, and this happens to myself. I'm sure it happens to writers. Probably you listening along at home, watching along at home. You get something in your mind and you're just so sure it's right just because it's sort of, well, that's how I put it in the outline. That's how I put it on my scene cards. That's how I wrote it the first 3 times through. So it's got to be right. And then either time passes and you read it again, and you say, maybe not. Or just like thunder strikes, lightning strikes, thunder claps, and you're like, wow, I need to change it. It doesn't work. I know it's going to mean a lot of rewriting, but it's the right thing to do for the story. And when you can get to that point, obviously the sooner the better. At the same time, you don't want to be so wishy-washy that you're like, oh gosh, I don't know if that works. And then you just have no spine to the story because you're constantly bending it and twisting it. Hopefully, I like that line too. When Lexi says we're going to see him and Rachel replies, I honestly don't know. And Lexi showing that she didn't learn this. I don't know what the word is, but Holly told me never to trust people who use the word honestly, which I think I have heard, which obviously is why I wrote it. Because, I mean, when you think about it, why would you say honestly unless all the other times you're talking, you're being dishonest, which is kind of strange. So I thought it would be funny if Ace had his kind of little line there to make him, I mean, obviously he's a thug, but he's got some trace of, I don't know if he even considers it funny or ironic or whatever, but I thought that was pretty good. Okay, so I've got some dialogue left there that I've got to get rid of where Noble, because they're not ready, obviously. So, all right, so now we're back at the Motel 6 room, and they've seen what's going on the screen. They don't know exactly. They saw the guys come, and then they're going to see them go shortly. And Holly is talking to who? Probably, we could guess, she's either going to be talking to Paul, she's going to be talking to Hogan, probably not Noble. Okay. So, all right, so what's happened in the interim, and again, in the olden days of movies, you pretty much had to lead the audience along. You had to say A and then B and then C, D, E, F, G. But now with audiences being more sophisticated and knowing, that things happen that they don't always see, we can sort of deduce by Holly's line of Agent Hogan's on his way that Noble has gotten a hold of Hogan and said, oh my gosh, we're in a terrible fix. I'm sure those aren't the words he used, but maybe this Holly lady can at least help us. She's got some training. She is a U.S. Marshal. So Hogan is calling Holly and saying, look, things are changing. Things are getting crazy. I need your help. So again, Abby asks a question to do what? Holly doesn't answer. This isn't just my writing, but when you think about it, I've said it many times, asking and answering questions is really dull. And yet you can answer a question by saying something else. To do what? And then Holly says, you'll be safe here until I get back. So that's told us a number of things, right? Which then Gary can ask the question, Abby can ask a question, and they're talking about two different things. It's sort of running parallel. And, well, no, I guess not. Sorry. They're talking about the same thing, the bulletproof vest. When Gary says don't let it get messed up, we know exactly what he's saying. And he has another line which may or may not make it into the final movie. So now things are getting serious. It's not the third act, and we're not like the team is rallying together, but it's getting real now that something is going on. Abby and Gary obviously are concerned / scared, yet they're not going to, like teens maybe in a typical movie, they're not going to go try to save the day like Scooby-Doo or something. Although No knock against Scooby-Doo. Anyways, that's the end of day 75, a major breakthrough, which unfortunately I sort of missed. Maybe you saw it if you were watching, and obviously not that you would do it, but you could pause and all that stuff. But my rule is I can't pause. But major breakthrough on not having them wait until the next morning, saving 12 hours, making it more immediate, getting the bad guys closing in. So again, if you feel like it's not working, or you send it out to a peer review group or whoever that has some little bit of credibility in writing, and you get feedback and they say it's not working, chances are it's not working. If, if your mom or your dad or your sister, brother, or great-grandfather reads it and goes, oh, I don't know, take that with a grain of salt. But that is my missive for today, but I will see you tomorrow on A Screenwriter's Journey.